Hello, how are you? And welcome to today's Thought for a Walk Monday, the beginning of the second week of 2024. It's a crazy thought, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good start this last week. And I was out yesterday and this morning and noticed the frost around, and it popped into my mind a memory of when I used to, many years ago now, work with children, and one of them had had a bit of bad news over Christmas, and we were told that if he wanted to do anything, then we, within reason, could allow it to happen as long as his behaviour was good in reaction to the bad news. And as it was, he decided he wanted to go camping. Now, my boss at the time was quite a nice bloke, so he said, rather than camping, why don't we go hire a boffy? Still wasn't greatly better for this time of the year, but it was a more solid roof over our heads. There was a wood burner, that kind of thing. So it was kind of camping with a little bit more protection. So we headed off into the deepest, darkest depths of Wales to this boffy, and it was basically a wooden shed is really what it was. Sounds grand. A little balcony, looked out, lovely view, and there was a big pile of wood and an axe, and you took your own food and camp cooked up there. And it was a nice few days. I won't lie, it was a nice few days. But I was thinking this morning, I remembered that on the first day, the young lad who was looking after, he'd wanted to do the chopping of the woods and getting the wood ready for the fire. And he got very, very frustrated, agitated and wound up, because he was lining a log up, placing it on the chopping block, bringing the axe up with all his might, and then thrusting the axe down with all his might as well, which, could have been seen to be therapeutic in some ways. Taken out in that way, it could be quite good. I quite enjoyed chopping logs, and but he was getting really frustrated because he would bring it down. He was quite a strong lad as well. And he'd bring it down, and the axe would hit the wood, and the wood would shoot off the block, or it would kind of only just dent it, or sometimes it would kick back a little bit. The one time it flew inwards and hit him. He wasn't making the best of jobs with him. And earlier on in the year when there was wood around and people had done the work and gathered it up and stacked it up, so it was there. And so I guess in some ways that's what happens, isn't it? You collect the wood throughout the year, so as when the darker, wetter, colder months come, that part of the work's done, so you almost get to rest a little bit. And then he got very irate with this chopping, so we had to intervene. But the thing was he was striking the wood against the grain, and he was using all his physical force to lift the axe up, but then he was using it again to drive it down, which doesn't benefit. The skill in using an axe is to allow its own weight to carry it down and do the deed. So in many ways it's not as physical as it initially seems. And however, because he was hitting against the grain, because he was using all his force, that energy was being shot off in different directions and dissipated, and he was consuming more energy. He was exhausted quite quickly, more energy than he needed to get the job done. And there are many places in our lives where we can do a similar thing, where we put all our energy into something, but we're striking against the grain, and we're using all the force we can to make it happen. And it doesn't happen. This goes wrong, that goes wrong, something crops up. The situations I'm talking about. And I thought a nice thought for today was maybe to just spend a bit of time between now and the next Thought for a Walk, just thinking, where are you using too much energy in life? Where are you trying to force something against the grain? Where stopping, looking at what actions do not go against the grain, and then using just enough force, and allowing the momentum of that instigating force to allow the thing to move forward. Because the moment we showed this lad how to chop wood properly, positioning the wood so you're striking with the grain, letting the axe weight fall by itself, he was like a machine. He got so much done. In fact, he did way more than was needed. Whoever used that bothy after us had an easy life, because this lad had got into it. He'd found his flow with it, because he was no longer striking against the grain, no longer forcing stuff where it wouldn't go. So where are you trying to force stuff? Where if you step back, reduce the amount of effort and energy, but work more with what is presented to you, can you start to move forward in 2024? Maybe it's something 2023 you were banging your head against that you just couldn't seem to make work, couldn't seem to make happen. Maybe you're hitting against the grain. Maybe you're using too much force to try and make it happen, rather than allowing the components of the situation, when worked properly, to allow that thing to happen for you. Anyway, much love, many blessings. I'm off running an online meditation session tonight. Much fun. A really, really great way of starting the week. I hope you have a good week, and I shall see you again Thursday with Next Thought for a Love. Thought for a love, thought for a walk. Take care. Many blessings. Bye-bye.